transition. And they're a terrific transition team. I think 5th in fast break points. A lot of those are generated off turnovers, where they do a terrific job. And I know we always speak of their offensive efficiency. Their defense doesn't get enough credit. They're probably top 5 in overall defensive rating, but the way they turn teams over and they thrive off those turnovers. So our ability to, value possessions, limit those live ball turnovers will help, at least get our defense set. Once we get the defense set, the biggest key is, you can't relax, because they do a terrific job of finding, one action to the next. The ball keeps moving, bodies keep moving. And if you relax for, just a second, now they got the separation that they need.
On the flip side, there's nobody that can match up with Porzingis size-wise. How important is it to run the offense through him or get him touches in the low post?
Well, I don't think it's just the post. I think with his ability to stretch the defense, shoot the three, playing through him at the top of the floor now opens the rest of the floor up for other people. A lot of times, he'll have mismatches in the post and off the elbow, which is good for us. But that's easier to bring help to. But, when he's spaced, it just opens up the rest of the floor, and I think it allows us opportunities to get into the paint.
Coach, you guys have some young players. The Warriors have some young players they're working on. How much time, as opposed to when you first mentioned, as a league, the coaching staffs have to be?
Well, I think the league has gotten younger. So it's a byproduct of who we have. I've gotten the question at times of what's the balance of, trying to win games and play young guys and get them up to speed. And for us, and I'm speaking strictly for us, our young guys are in the rotation. So they're getting on the job training. There's no way to simulate, these type of scenarios, late game situations, fourth quarter stretches. They have to figure it out. And obviously, they're meaningful moments, not just for them, but for us. So I think it's a good balance, but there is a certain degree of patience where you have to kind of go through the growing pains and maybe live through some youthful mistakes. But, we're better for it on the other side. But I think our guys have done a terrific job of putting in the time and working to get better. There's still a lot of room for growth. But these, last handful of games are important. These aren't just show up and play. We have to still look at these games as meaningful, not just for this year, but bleeding through the summer and into next season.
Wes, you had a culture setter in Coach Malone in Denver, obviously, but were there players who really set a foundation for you defensively in terms of this is who we're going to be every day, game in, game out, and everybody has to play at that standard? Initially,
no, there weren't. And some of that was just the byproduct of our roster construction. It's also when you take a new team, it takes some time to kind of generate that identity. And I have to remind myself, and I'm not comparing where we are now to, another franchise, but we struggled initially in that first year. And collectively, within the coaching group, we felt like we coached our butts off. So the results weren't, where we really wanted to see them, but we really felt proud as far as where we were, the foundation we were setting. Obviously, 2-3 years in, it takes off, and all of a sudden we just remember the last few years when you're winning games, you're playing at a high level, you have an MVP candidate, all those other things. It takes a lot of luck going into that. But when you sit back and look at how it, transpired, you're like, okay, there's a lot of work to be done, and it's not going to happen overnight. But that identity is going to takes a little bit of time to get to, and right now is an area that we can control. It has nothing to do with necessarily the wins and losses, although we'd like to win all these games. But can we continue to build on that foundation now to help springboard things next season?